Alright, so we got the All-Star break in Major League Baseball. Always kind of a fun time, at least for me, because you get a few days off from baseball, but you also get more baseball. So tonight's the Home Run Derby. Really looking forward to that. But I guess I'll take kind of a first half approach to looking at the Boston Red Sox as I reflect on their season so far. And yes, I could just make this a very short rant and say it's a total disgrace, but it's not a total disgrace. I mean, to be honest with you, and this is kind of worse, I'm to the point where I'm not even emotional about it anymore, you know? I used to be either really excited or really angry with the team, and now I'm just to a point where it's like, they'll win a few games, they'll lose a few games, and you get tired of it. They're just not exciting. The last week and a half has been exciting, I'll admit. And it's a shame because I'm just kind of giving up. I had given up like in May. And, I know the season's not over, and I realize that, they're 6.5 games within 6.5 of first, but let's be honest, Red Sox fans. The team has one winning streak of 4 games, and that was this past week. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, which, to me, I'm just glad they didn't get swept, because it looked like it was going in that direction. And, just when this team looks like they're going to be good, they're not. So it really wouldn't surprise me if they lost 3 out of 4 in Anaheim, or even all 4, both because Anaheim's doing really well, and the Red Sox, they're good, but they're not. I think now, at least, the last month or so, I can say that they're maximizing their talent, or close to it, because this team just doesn't have a pitching staff. That was my main complaint going into it. I can't even blame the players anymore. I still do a little bit, but I have to blame the front office for not even really attempting to replace John Lester. Yes, Rick Porcello. All right, whatever. Yeah, so they got Rick Porcello, they got Clay Buchholz, who has all these problems in the past. He turned it around a little bit this year, and then, whoop, got injured again. Couldn't have seen that coming. So, those are supposed to be your 2 top pitchers. Eduardo Rodriguez, nobody saw coming, and he's been the best pitcher. Then you have, Wade Miley, who has, like, a good start and then a few bad starts, and then, he goes 5 or 6 innings, even if it's a good start. So the bullpen's getting worked. Masterson's a complete bust. I mean, you just look it up and down, I know not every signing is going to hit, but they didn't even try. They really didn't try. Cole Hamels, he's a bit overrated, but I wouldn't mind him at this point. I wouldn't have minded him at the beginning of the season. I don't think he's a number 1, at least, on this team he is, but I think he's a good pitcher to build around. I think if Lester were still on the team, it'd be great to have Lester and Hamels at the top of the rotation, but Hamels and a bunch of crap, what does that really do for you? You get a good start once every 5 days, maybe, and then maybe 2 days if you get Eduardo Rodriguez going again, and that's what I mean. This Red Sox team, it's hard to really get on them. It's hard to really get excited about them. If this was back in mid-June when they were just losing every game, I'd be really upset. They made me a little bit okay with them winning some more games. And let me just put this out there, and I've said this before. I don't expect them to win the World Series every year. I don't even expect them to win 90, 95 games every year. I just want them to be watchable. The 2010 Red Sox didn't make the playoffs. They were watchable. The 2011 Red Sox didn't make the playoffs. They were watchable for a little while. 2012 Red Sox actually were pretty awful, and I didn't mind watching them. They were at least in the games. It felt like they were trying. They were hovering around 500. I don't think I'm asking for a whole lot here. And then to see them come back in 2013 and win the World Series with largely the same roster just kind of shows you that, this team has something in them. And then they come back in 2014 and lay an egg. And you go, all right, well, at least they have pitching. Well, they had pitching, and they traded Lester and Lackey, so now they don't even have that. So now you're kind of just trying to figure out what this team is. They have a few overpaid veterans. They have no pitching. They have players that show some promise, like Mookie Betts, and yes, even Xander Bogaerts, although I'm still not high on him. So, that's it. That's the Red Sox for you first half. Do I think they make the playoffs? Ultimately, no. I think I was pretty forthcoming about that. I think they get close. I think in terms of this division, I don't think they win a lot of games, but I think this division's pretty lousy. I think the Yankees or Orioles, unfortunately, will probably win it with like 87, 88 wins. And the Red Sox will have like 83 wins, maybe. I'm being a bit generous, making this team over 500. This team has to play ridiculous baseball even to get to 85 wins. And that's something. And I don't know if they have that in them. I think they could win a few in a row, then lose a few in a row, and that doesn't really do much for you. I guess going forward, the only thing I am concerned about is the trade deadline. And I hate the trade deadline, because there's always this big urgency. If you're a really good team, you got to trade for someone to put you over the top. And if you're a really bad team, you got to trade away everybody. So I almost want them to just be in that middle where maybe they pick up a piece, maybe they trade a piece, but I don't want them to blow up the team again like they did last season. It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't do much. What did that do last year, getting rid of Lester or Lackey? You didn't get either of them back. You didn't get anything back this year that made you better. You got Joe Kelly and Alan Craig, who are both in the minor leagues. You got Yoenis Cespedes, who got traded for Rick Porcello. So, I mean, yeah, you blew up the team last year. You didn't get anything that improved it this year. So do we want to blow it up again and get more pieces? Or conversely, do you want to trade a good player just to get a good player who won't really help you make the playoffs? So to me, I wish they just kind of stay pat at the trade deadline unless they get a really good offer. But, of course, it's the Red Sox. They'll overreact one way or the other. And if they're out of it, they'll make a big trade. And if they're somehow in it, they'll make a big trade that may not even need to be made. So we'll see how that happens. That's just my thoughts. With the All-Star break and a few days off, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about sports, basketball, baseball, maybe even some football. So stay tuned for that. Enjoy the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby tonight. Maybe the Red Sox can pull it out, but I'm kind of doubting it.